Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. Here, this is the spot where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Welcome home, Brains. There's only one requirement to hang out on the edge, is that you open your big brain and close your small mind. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. How you doing today? You're back at your favorite spot, the best podcast on the planet. Here, this is the place where the conversations are pointed, the guests are sharp, the responses are never dull. Today, we have someone with us and we share the same name. Her name is April Hiatt. She is a success strategist and founder of WISE Women Masterminds. That is a dynamite group. She's got an upcoming conference that she is going to really enlighten and empower a lot of women in this space. We're going to talk to her about being a CEO, success strategies. What does it look like for women in the, not just in the workplace, but in the home place? How about women in the friendship place? Let's talk about that too, because we have to be cohesive. We have to love one another. We have to support one another if we are going to thrive and survive, not just in the world, but as a species, because everything comes through a woman that lands on this planet. And so we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. How you doing today, April?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for joining me here. We have a real good girlfriend conversation
Love
because I've been going through some stuff. I'll be transparent. I didn't have to friends cleanse.
it.
Well, for different reasons, and it's not just personality, but it's like, are people in alignment?
True. That's
Do
huge.
do you know your purpose? Are you fulfilling that purpose? Are you getting support? Are you being supportive? And when you have done such a great job in bringing these women together, creating a network of masterminds, it takes a strong person to do that because you got to separate the wheat from the straw. You
Yeah.
know,
Or bring up the weak to become strong.
yes, absolutely. So, firstly, tell us a little bit about your story, your journey, your truth, and how you found yourself in this space, creating this dynamite organization.
Yeah, you bet. I'd love to. So I actually ran a website design business for about 9 years. And when my kids all grew up and moved out of the house, I'm an empty nester mom. I got lonely. It was just me. And I was behind a computer. I am married and my husband's here, but he travels. And so I found myself alone a lot. And I realized that once I wasn't doing all the mom things and going to the dance recitals and the practices and the wrestling meets and all the things, I thought, okay, now what am I doing? And so I really needed other people in my life. And when I started looking around for that, I wasn't really finding it. I started attending local networking events, and there were a lot of men at those events and a lot of men in trades at those events. And I just wasn't connecting with them. And so when I would go, I would always seek out the one or two women that were at these networking events, and I would talk to them and become friends. And then I finally found some other kind of women events, and they just weren't, they were good. I enjoyed them, but they weren't exactly what I was looking for, because I wanted something more than just networking, more than just the surface level. Hi, my name's April and I help blah blah, the
Right,
little 30
right,
second
right,
pitch.
right,
And
right. The little chitter chat, right.
yes. And I wanted something more than that. And honestly, I couldn't find it. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to create exactly what I want, and we're going to see if anybody else wants it. So I'm a website person, or I was. I've actually retired that business. But I thought, you know what? I'm not even going to build a website. I'm just going to make a Google Doc and I'm going to see what happens. And
Mm-hmm.
so I put all my ideas on a Google Doc and what I wanted and what it looked like. I did a form sign up sheet, and I thought, let's see if anybody signs up. And I sold out in like 2 days. And I went,
Wow.
oh, apparently people want this more than just me. So I just kept adding groups and then I started a Facebook group. And then one day I thought, let's do an event. That would be fun. Let's have a conference and get everybody in person and start doing those. So I created the true peer to peer mastermind groups where it's not connected to a coaching program. Everybody comes in and brings their area of expertise, and
Mm-hmm.
we all support each other. We learn from each other. We teach each other. If we have a question, we brainstorm it, we work it out together. Oh my gosh, they're fabulous. I love it so, so much. And I get so much joy and energy out of it.
Well, it's a very unique model
It
because
is
normally, you keep people in the same zone of genius together. Oh,
correct.
we're all in HR, we're all in accounting, or this, that, and the other. But when you are able to intermingle each other's skill
Powerful.
set, it's very powerful. I mean,
Yeah.
you're starting little mini companies in
Right.
each group and each pod.
Yeah,
Friendships
exactly.
for life. Friendship for life.
Right. And and that is the cool part because the groups stay together for 6 months and we meet every other week. But because of that, we really get to know each other. Like the first couple of weeks, we're kind of like people are a little nervous about sharing about, hey, I'm struggling over here because let's be real, we all want to look great online. We all want to
Mm-hmm.
look like we know what we're doing. We all want to appear to be successful. But even the most successful people behind that always have something that they're struggling with. They always have
Always.
something that they're working on. And after a few weeks, we start to trust each other and really get down into okay, I'm struggling with this thing. Can somebody please help me with that? And there's always somebody in a group, a mixed group like that, that can jump in and help. And usually it's more than one person. And then we also find a lot of the women find that even when either they're first starting out or they're really successful or whatever, we all struggle with the same things. We all have imposter syndrome. We all struggle a little bit with confidence in different areas.
And our
We
weight.
all, yeah, yes, exactly. We all have things. And so it's really nice to get in those groups and realize that I'm not alone. I'm not the only one struggling with this. But also on the flip side of that, to also feel like I'm an expert at what I do and I can share with other people. And there's power in that too, as everybody builds their confidence
Right.
in their
Absolutely.
areas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, there are people that really know that, or you have the people that are truly introverted
Right.
or empathic, and they
Yes.
don't get out, uh, or they feel comfortable. And
Correct.
now they are somewhere where they can be the leader, that they can
Yes.
be the thought leader. They can pose the right questions, you know,
Yes.
and teach people to be accountable and responsible. It's like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, I could have done this better. Oh, this is a choice. This is an option. So it's really a safe space.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the idea is because they're smaller groups, it becomes, and it is really, really a safe space for the women to really get vulnerable and dive deep where you don't always get that when you're just trying to be online the other thing I found is sometimes a lot of us have support systems at home. Like we have a partner or we have siblings, we have family, we have friends, but often they don't really understand our businesses.
No,
Like you can ask
they
my
don't.
mom what I do.
Right,
She
right,
probably
right,
can't tell you.
right,
She
right.
probably has
My,
no
my
idea.
mother, I grew up to the day my mother died. She said, "Now tell me, what is it that you do? What is
Right,
a podcast?" And I said, "Mama, it's independent news reporting." I'm like, "Well,
right.
but all I see you do, baby, is talk to people."
Yes.
What do you think Wolf Blitzer is doing all day? He's just talking to people, Mama. So yeah, they don't get it. They don't get it, and they don't have you know, um, the passion that you
Correct.
have. You need somebody that, if you are new as an entrepreneur, to light that fire under your rump, to keep you
Yes.
going, to keep you motivated. Because we'll fall off. Oh, okay, well, numbers aren't this good this month or the next month or the next month, but revenue turns around the second quarter. you got to have somebody that's been there that shows you that's going to be your cheerleader the whole way. Plus, it's fun.
Absolutely.
You go on these retreats, you go on, they go to conferences. Let's talk a little bit about the conferences that
You
you
bet.
design, because I looked online and I'm telling you, if I wasn't going to Europe, I would be getting a ticket. I'm serious. I'm going to come to the next one because it's so important to get there and be in that 1-800 ballroom. It's a hype fest.
Yes. Yeah,
You have the
it
most
is.
beautiful locations. Tell us a little bit about that.
So about the conference of the
Yeah,
locations or both?
well, both.
All of the above, right? Okay. So I have really leaned in my business in doing things different. And I love being different than everybody else. So I do all the things differently that I don't like when I go to other places. For example, when I walk into an event and somebody says, "Okay, just here's your ticket, check in, go find a seat." We have open networking, so go find somebody, talk to them, and then sit down somewhere. Okay, that is so awkward. It is really hard for me, and I like talking to people, for me to do that. And I know it's hard for the introverts to do that. And it's just awkward for everybody. So I don't do that. Like, I make a point of having people that are greeting somebody at the door, talking to them when they walk in. I actually assign the seats based on, like, I have sponsor tables and I assign people to sit at the sponsor tables with a sponsor. And then I mean, that's a win-win, right? The sponsor gets somebody at their tables and then the people sit there, they know where they're sitting. That I have activities that are going to introduce the people at your table to each other. We
Mm,
find ways that we're connected together. And the activities are not, I mean, they are like, you meet people, but they're like, let's find connections. Let's find ways that we can collaborate. Let's find things we have in common. So we're building relationships that are not just superficial, but we're going a little bit deeper.
mhm.
So, I mean, I try to do all the things. Another fun thing that I do at my event that I have never seen anywhere else, and then I'm going to put this out on a podcast, and now people are going to copy it. And that's awesome because I think it's so great. Is I have what's called an open swag table. So instead of walking into the event and you get a swag bag that's already there that somebody else made up, and then you get home and half of the stuff you chuck in the trash because you didn't really want it, everybody that comes to my event can bring anything they want for swag. And then I have a table that you can display your things on. Everybody that comes gets to participate in that. And then I provide empty bags, and you walk down the rows of tables and pick the things that you actually want and put those
Wow.
in your bag. So
Right,
now when you get home, you're not going to chuck it in the trash. And two, you're taking the stuff that you really want. So the
right.
person knows if you took my stuff, you're actually interested in what I have. And the first time I did this, I kind of threw it out there. I thought, I don't know if it's going to work. I guess we're going to see. So I had set up two of those, like, what are they, 8 to 10 foot tables or
Uh-huh,
whatever, those
uh-huh.
long tables. And I thought, I'll set up two of those and see what happened. In about the first 15 minutes, I had to go to the event coordinator and say, I need more tables. I need more tables. I ended up with 6 tables
Wow,
full of things that
wow.
people brought. The women were so generous and so kind with the things that they brought in, little samples, little just, oh my gosh, such a variety of different things
Yes.
that they brought. It was
And
amazing.
the marketing on that is huge too.
Right.
Because now you say, oh, wow, I'm going to April's event, and this is what people expect. Let me do XYZ. But
Yes.
I like what you said, going back a little bit. I want to ask you two questions. The first one is that you do this from day one.
Yes.
Uh, that's how I am. We go on a cruise, and from the time I get on, hi, how you doing? This, that, and the other. Usually it takes a day and a half. Then you've
Mhm.
seen the person at breakfast 1 or 2 days. Well,
Right.
hell, those are missed opportunities,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know? And I know they're tired and they've traveled or whatever, but a friendly face from the
Makes all.
onset saying, oh, wow,
Yes.
she's pretty cool. I'm going to connect with her tomorrow after I, get some coffee or whatever. But let's go back to sponsorships,
You bet.
because I want you to give us some great suggestions on sponsorships. I talk to women all the time that are excited about putting on a conference or putting on a retreat. And I try to tell them, marketing is key. You can have the greatest online presence, but if there's nobody buying tickets and filling those seats, baby, you ain't got nothing.
Right.
And
True.
so what you have to do is you have to present this and position it to a sponsor that they feel, okay, this is going to be lucrative. Even if it's
Mhm.
only 10 people, you don't
Right.
have to come out with this massive, well, there's going to be 250 people there. Don't oversell it. What are
Correct.
some tips that you give to individuals that are just starting out that are looking for sponsors for events?
So the biggest key is to make sure that it's a win-win and that the sponsor really gets highlighted and wins at the event. Because you're asking them to put out money and to promote your event also. And, whatever you're asking them to do, I have the sponsors donate a raffle basket to give away, but it has to be a win for them. So, like, for example, rather than just having tables along the side and you hope somebody walks by your table and you can talk to them as a sponsor, that's awkward. I put people at their table. So the sponsor tables are the ones we're actually sitting at during the event. So that's a win. And I rotate those people throughout the day. So the sponsors know they're going to meet at least 30 people that I will put at their table. And then I also make sure that my sponsors get stage time. So they're going to donate a raffle and they get time up on the stage to talk about themselves and their business and what they're offering in the raffle. And then for the raffle tickets, I make sure that it has a name and an email address as contact information. And the sponsors get to keep all of the raffle tickets, the people that put in for their specific raffle basket, so that they can follow up with those people, so that they're getting warm leads. And they know if somebody put in for their raffle, that person wants what they have to offer. So it's a really good lead. So they've gotten exposure, they've gotten people at their table to talk to, they've gotten a warm leads. Like it has to be a win for them as opposed to just a mention. Like I've been to events and I don't knock other events. Everybody does things differently. But I've been to some where people pay a huge amount of money to be a sponsor and they just get a mention like, thanks to our sponsors. Thanks, April. And then that's
Right.
the end.
Or,
And
or they might get a banner. They might get a banner
right. You
placement,
might get a banner. Yeah. The logo on there or something. Yeah. So you got to make it a win for your sponsors. You're asking a
Absolutely.
lot of them.
You are, and you're working it too. And then you have to build a relationship with that sponsor. You've done
Absolutely.
that, you followed up, and you go back to them and ask them, is there anything that that you would like, that you'd like to see? Is there anything
Yes.
that how can I improve? People always want you to ask. That's not a Debbie Downer.
Oh, no. That's
It's
good feedback.
how can you improve? What have others done for you or with you that has worked out favorably for you? Because it's tough now.
Right.
It's very tough in the areas of nonprofits, sponsorships, conferences, and retreats. A lot
Yes.
of times, those were very philanthropic people, but now, everybody's watching their pennies
Hmm.
and they want to know that they're getting value for what they're putting out. It's more than just a tax write off for them right now. They
Oh,
want
yeah.
you to actually churn and burn.
Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And the feedback is huge. Like this is coming up as my third event, but I plan on continuing to have these forever. And getting feedback from my sponsors and the attendees has just helped me level up the event every single time. And people have really good feedback. Like if you ask for it, people have some really good ideas or
Mhm.
lots. I mean, there are some things that I'm doing that I hadn't even thought of, just simple things, and I was like, oh, well, that's a good idea. I don't know why I didn't think of that, but thanks so
Absolutely.
much. And so yeah, it's huge asking for that.
Now, tell us a little bit about the venues.
The venues. So I always use local venues and I try to use small businesses if possible, independently owned if I can. Sometimes I'm not able to just because of the size of the event. But for example, for the VIP portion of the upcoming Wise Women Conference, I met a lady online who actually owns her business is three, she has like 4 or 5 different venue spaces. And so I was watching her online. I saw a post that she made, and I thought, I'm going to reach out and talk to her and just see if what she has is something that I can use. And so I went and I toured it, and I thought, oh, this is perfect. This is beautiful. This is amazing. And so, absolutely, so I thought, hey, let's work out a deal. And she was very gracious in working with me because she also wants people in her venue
Absolutely.
too. And so a lot of times, if you'll just talk to people, you can work out a deal. If you try to be impersonal and just do it all, through email or whatever, it's just impersonal. But if you'll go meet the person, and not everybody does, I'm perfectly willing to pay full price for everything because I believe we're all business owners and what goes around comes around. I expect to pay people for their services. So I never expect a deal. And I'm always gracious if people offer it. But I love supporting local businesses and local business owners and the small business owner for sure. And I always look, I mean, my business is women owned businesses. It's Wise Women. I support them. So I am always going to pick them first. Even if that means I pay a little bit more, that's okay for me. I'll pay a little bit more and support my fellow women business owner every single time.
Well, thank you so much for that because, again, like I said, it's the camaraderie, it's the sisterhood.
It is.
Let's talk about girlfriends.
All right, let's do it.
Well, you got the friend, and sometimes you got the friend of me, you know. And what we want to do, or what I hope to do as women, is to be as transparent as possible, not cruel, not
Yeah.
critical, not judgmental, but to be able to banter back and forth, to be able to enjoy the success of another April.
Right.
We can go to a smorgasbord right now. I'll grab a plate, you'll grab a plate. But what's on my plate is not on your plate. And what we have to do is accept the value of every woman here.
Agreed.
If she's black, I don't care if she's white, Asian, Hispanic, we are all cut from the same cord. We are all we are all conduits to life and to life form. This is the time of the woman, April,
It
like
is.
like never before. With this last election cycle, we saw women rise up like phoenixes. But what are we going to do with that power? Are we going to continue to have the same isms? Sexism, racism, classism, you know, are we going to be so indoctrinated in our religious texts that we can't see the value of someone from another culture, from someone from another, an atheist or someone that's struggling? Are we so self absorbed that we can't pick a sister up when she's had a drug problem, when she is broken up with her husband, when she has financial problems? What can we do to unify women?
I think we need to look for them. And what I mean by that is often if we will just look around us, there are women that we can just support and help and just say, hey, you know what? You're doing a great job. I love what you're doing. Or how can I support you? This is so awesome what you're doing. Little things like that go a long way. And when women come together, they are so powerful if they will do that. I think the hard thing for women sometimes is we're doing 100 things at the same time. We're trying to run a business or go to work 9 to 5, or, we're moms and we're running kids all over the place. And we're so busy with all the things we have going that sometimes we don't just stop and look around us and just notice people. If you're standing in line in the grocery store, instead of being on your phone, say hello to the person standing next to you. Like, you never know what kind of day they're having if you just say, hey, you know what? You look amazing today. Or, oh my gosh, that looks so good. What you got going on there? Anything.
Hey, a compliment in a heartbeat. Oh, girl, I like those shoes. Oh, you smell delicious.
Yes.
Or it brings a smile on their face. They took the time to spruce themselves up to be
Yes.
noticed. Even a girlfriend thing as, you know what, girl, I know you've been tired. Let me babysit them kids for you for about 4 or 5 hours so you can just take a nap.
Right.
Or, here, this is what I did. I made some extra lasagna, so I brought some over for you and the family. Or uh, I have done it. My girlfriend told me, she said, girl, I can't pay my utility bill. I don't know what's going to happen. Well, I had some extra money and I went on and paid her utility
Just
bill and
right.
never told her I paid it. Never told her I paid it. She said, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So there's little things that you can do, and you don't have to get praise for that. You're going to get your praise
No.
on the other side.
Oh, I totally agree. The other thing, here's one thing that I love to do that I don't normally say out loud, but I'm going to say it here. You know, when you go to like the ice cream shop or the wherever, even the fast food place now, they always ask for a tip, right? That you get your thing and they always want a little tip. And at first I used to be like, seriously, like,
Oh,
he's just bagging my food or whatever. But then I had a daughter who worked at Taco Bell. And let me tell you, she would come home every day. She'd be like, Mom, somebody gave me $1 today. And it like made her whole
oh,
day, just those little things. And I thought, you know what? I can do that. I have an extra dollar or two. It's not going to kill me.
right.
So I love adding on that little extra tip and just surprising them every single time, even if they're just scooping ice cream and sticking it on a cone and handing it to me. They showed up to work that day and they were there helping me so I could get my ice cream. So you know what? You can have an extra dollar. Like
Absolutely.
all those little things matter.
I had a situation where Mr. Magnificent, that's what I call my husband, he kind of lit into me. And he never lights into me at 41 years of marriage. And he says, you might want to go over there and sit down and stop asking for stuff. Well, I could go out in my patio and it's beautiful. I could go get in the jacuzzi. I could go get a massage. I could go get a facial. I could get whatever I want to eat, yada, yada. And I'm like, well, I'm not trying to act like I'm, ungrateful. And my feelings was hurt. Long story short, I go and get a facial. When I come out and get the facial, I see this young girl sleep on the ground. It was hot that day.
Oh,
And her feet hadn't seen soap and water. And her face was the prettiest thing I had ever seen. And I looked down at
oh,
her and I went in my purse, April, and I gave her every dime I had.
oh, that's so nice. Yeah.
And she looked up at me and she started to cry. And then she started to shout. She said, now I can go get a shower. Now I can go get something to eat. She said, and now I can go see my babies. I
Yeah.
and you know what? I came home and I went and sat myself down. I felt like I was sitting in the corner somewhere. But it was a very humbling experience.
Hmm.
And that's what I'm hoping that we get back to is being humble and recognizing, overlook, oversee it, look for it, as you said, seek it out because
Right.
there are so many people in need of that smile, of that hug, of that finance, of that touch, just the care. You
Right.
don't know what somebody's going through.
Right. The other thing that I think is incredibly powerful that's really simple to do is be gracious. Tell
Oh,
people thank you. If you're going through the line at the airport, that poor TSA guy has probably had people yelling at him all day long. Just say thank you. Like, you're in the grocery store, you got the checker who's standing there been on her feet for 8 hours today and who knows doing what. I'm like, thank you for being here today. Just be gracious and thank you. We all like to be on the receiving end of that. We all like to be noticed and thanked for showing up and being who we are and doing what we're doing. So we can offer that to other people. That doesn't even cost anything. It's just a simple gesture, but people really appreciate it and often really need it.
yeah, I do that too. I tell people, I appreciate you. I'll tell them in a heartbeat because I do. They could have done anything else but service me, you know.
Right.
And again, service has gone to hell in a handbasket. You can't get a human being on the phone anymore.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
when you do, and then when you do, don't light into them because you're frustrated. You had to go through the automated system. Step
Oh,
back. We have to allow ourselves some grace, some space. Step back, take a breath, and this is how we weave together the fibers of goodness that have been frayed.
I agree. I
You know,
agree.
and again, you have to seek it out. Well, you are absolutely amazing. Tell us a little bit
Thank
about
you.
your networking group, and then I'm going to ask you some fun questions.
Oh, all right. We were having fun already, so we got more. Yes. So the networking group, I do have a free Facebook group. It's called WISE Women Masterminds, and it is a very supportive, positive, helping each other group. It really is tailored to be an online mastermind group. So for those that just have a quick question and want to know the answer to something, instead of sometimes we go online and we'll ask a question and nobody will answer the question. People will just say, well, I can help you, call me, or here's my website, call me, or let me DM you. But I'm like, could you just answer my question? And
Right.
so I created a group where people actually answer your questions. So if you have one or you need an idea, you post in the group and you say, hey, I'm looking for feedback on XYZ. What do you guys do? And you'll get 12 to 15 amazing women that will respond and say, you know what, here's my advice. And then they will actually give you suggestions and advice and, will help you out as opposed to always trying to sell you. Because I just think sometimes the online space is just becoming so salesy that I thought, let's get back to being human beings and just helping each other.
Right, right, right. So that's huge. All right, so let's ask you some fun questions.
Okay,
If I
ready.
came to Utah to visit with you for the weekend, where would you take me?
Oh, I would take you hiking. Hands down, I would take you hiking. There are so many amazing little hiking trails in Utah, anywhere from a half a mile that takes you to a waterfall to 8 miles that takes you up on the top, overlooking just some beautiful mountains. Oh, I would take you hiking, hands down. Plus, there's 5 national parks here, and oh my gosh, we could go anywhere. We could go from warm weather to cold weather in about a 3 hour span. I love it.
Good, 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 good. What's your favorite meal?
I love um, fettuccine Alfredo with artichoke hearts and shrimp. I know those seem kind of weird together, but that's my favorite.
Now, do you prepare that or you go out, you have a favorite restaurant that serves that?
My husband likes to make it for me, so gotta love that.
Good. What is your love language?
My love language is twofold. It's touch. Like I like hugs. I like just like a pat on the shoulder. And then it's noticing me. It's appreciation. It's people noticing, hey, you're here. I see you and I appreciate what you're doing.
That's wonderful. If you were an appliance in the kitchen of all places, what appliance would you be and why?
What appliance would I be? Think I would be, I think I'd be an Instapot. Because you just put your stuff in there and get stuff done quick and you're gone. I don't necessarily get a lot of things done really fast, but I would love to. So if I get to pick one, I'm going to be the Instapot and then I'm going to aspire to that.
Oh, that's great. I want to be the refrigerator.
Oh, there you go. That's a
I
good
just
one.
want to be the place that you sit and chill.
You just chill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just chill. There's not a whole lot going on there. If you could have a conversation with a 25-year-old April Hiatt, what would you say to her?
I would tell her to not give up on her dreams, not lose who she is when she becomes a mom. Like I loved being a mom, but I think I got lost. The real April kind of got lost in there a little bit, and I just found her again. So I would tell her just keep being you, and that's enough. That really is okay. Step into that, be confident in who you are, and don't give up on your dreams. They're there, they're out there.
What do you do to revitalize and rejuvenate yourself outside of walking and eating? Alfredo with artichoke heart and shrimp.
I do two things. If I have time, I go hiking every single weekend. My husband and I love to hike. We even have a little thing. We call it hiking with the Hiatts. We do a different hike every single weekend. So outside is my happy place. But if I don't have time for a full hike, like Monday through Friday when I'm working, this is what I do. I'll take a break from my office and I'll stand up and I will walk outside to wherever the sun is, front yard, backyard, whatever it is. And I will stand up and close my eyes and just look up at the sun for about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, and just feel the warmth of that. And in my mind, I just imagine there's energy flowing through me and I just let that fill me up. And then I go back in and go back to work and
That's that
do my
vitamin
thing.
D.
But yeah, get my vitamin D. I love the sun. I love outside.
It is. It is. It is. Um, you are a mom.
I am.
Do you have daughters?
I have two.
Two. What are you pouring into those young women?
Confidence. And I want them to know that they can do whatever they want. They can be amazing women. They just have to decide that's what they want to do. Nobody can hold them back. It doesn't matter what they want to do and what their dreams are. They can do that. I also, you see my passion
That's
here.
right. I feel it, sister. I'm welting up over here too.
I'm so passionate about leaving a legacy of women can support each other as moms, as daughters, as sisters, as neighbors, as just women in general. The just be you and be confident in that. And just go. It's okay. Like we're all different, but as we all can support each other, oh, I just want my daughters to know they can do whatever they want to do in this world. This is an amazing world that we live in. It's an amazing country that we live in. We really can do what we want. We just have to choose it.
We have to choose it and we have to follow through
Yep.
and be accountable. Be
Yes.
accountable for your own stuff. I'm telling you, people don't want to do it. They want to offboard it. They want to offboard it, and you can't offboard the truth.
No.
It's okay. I was telling somebody the other day, when I, get the L, I don't look at it as a loss. I look at it as a learning.
Oh, for
When
sure.
I get the W, I don't necessarily look at it as a win. I look at it as wisdom.
Oh, I like that.
So you have to position yourself that even if it doesn't work out in your best interest, that is going to be a learning there. You are
For
going to
sure.
come out better on the other side. If you
Oh,
share
absolutely.
that, you are no longer a one legged stool. You are there to support somebody else because we're here for two reasons. One is to learn, and the other one is to teach. That's it. All
Right.
this other stuff, you're not gonna take it with you. Go them big diamond
Nope.
rings and that Louis Vuitton bag and them red bottom shoes. They're not going with you.
Nope. Yeah. No.
So
I
appreciate
agree.
what you have. Work with wise women
Yes.
that appreciate and value and support one another. Open yourself up to new beginnings. Explore something that you've never explored before. Food,
Love that.
culture, music, friendships. Have a conversation with someone. We were talking as we got in the green room. We were talking about my hair options. Yes, brains, I'm gonna
Right.
be on today. Okay. And I got 24 other alter egos, but it's fun. And I said, well, April, have you ever tried it? She goes, no. She said, but I got this wisdom piece here in the front. I like that. Okay. Have a conversation with somebody and learn something different. It will expand your horizons. So thank you so
Indeed.
much for being there and
Thank
sharing
you.
your emotion because I'm over here tearing up too about being passionate, about being wise women. Do you
Yeah.
understand? I'm going to say it again. Wise women. That's a smart woman right there. That's somebody, as we say, got some street cred. Okay, you've
Right.
been there, done that, and you wear the T-shirt. Thank you so much for being a banner sponsor for that. Please tell my
Thank
brains
you.
how to get in contact with you and more information. We're going to put all the information in the back. We're going to be putting the show notes as we progress and April's upcoming events in the future come up. We'll be replaying this interview so that you'll be able to partake in that, because this is an energy, this is a synergy, this is something that you really need to belong to.
It is. Yeah, you always want to surround yourself with the best people you can and people that build you up and that support you. And that's what's going to bring you far is the people you surround yourself with.
Absolutely. So, how do they surround themselves with you?
So they can find me, well, in my Facebook group. It's called Wise Women Masterminds, or I'm on Facebook too. I'm happy to friend people there. It's April. It's actually, well, you can look up April Hiatt. And then my email address is april@aprilhiatt.com. And Hiatt is spelled with an I, Hiatt. And then finally, my website is wisewomenmasterminds.com.
Well, brains, go in and kick up your level of wisdom. I encourage you. Go in, take a look at the group, introduce yourself, and let them know what you have to offer, because you're bringing something to the table too. It's not just that they're all there just sitting there, waiting on you. Bring something to the table and
Absolutely.
serve it up hot, serve it up good, serve it up right. Thank you so much, April. I'm looking for my postcard. I cannot find my postcard. Here it is, right. I want to thank you for your support, continued support. I have had this podcast now for 25 years. Oh, yes. And we have only brought you the best and the brightest. We brought you some controversy. We brought you some laughter. We brought you some finance. We brought you some great wise women and a whole lot more. So go back and listen. There's about 2,000 episodes. You can find them all on YouTube. There's also on Spreaker and Spotify and Apple and LinkedIn and Facebook. We're all over the planet. We're here to support you because we want to bring you the highest and greatest good. Thank you so much, April. You are the best. Come back and see me. Keep me posted. I'm trying to get myself together so I can come to the next one because I'm excited. I'm going to be there and I'm going to share everything that I have. How about that?
That would be awesome. April twinners are the best.
That's right. Talk to you soon. Bye, brains. We love you. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. Thank you.